But one of the things, and the thing that gets me, is that aside from taxes and everybody complaining in council meetings, you deal with constituents every day. There's 40, 50 people call the council chamber and leave messages. And today in the studio, one of the girls came up and asked you for some advice. You took her name and number, and you're going to reply to her.
But, you know, it's interesting. There are a lot of people that say, who's your councilman? People don't know who their councilman is, and I get that a lot, even though I've been in office for 16 years. However, I'm so accessible to the public. I have a business. I've had so many people who walk in and buy a pack of gum and, hey, John, can I see you for a minute?
I went looking for you. I just called up the council office.
Right.
What's the girl's name?
Kathy Agel.
Kathy Agel, all right. And she takes the message, and I guess gets it to you, and then you call back. I don't think it took an hour, you know, for you to call back. So.
No, but like John said, he's in the store. He's running a business. It's a family business, and everybody's in there, and they grab you. He never ducks you.
No, so I mean, I'm easy to find. You know, it's if I'm not there, I'm at City Hall or I'm home. You know, I have a listed number. You know.
Hopefully, you take some Advil.
Let me get back to one of these
sure.
pictures. Who's the bartender here?
There ain't no bartender.
This is a guy that's been with you.
That's Tom Adam.
Okay.
Tom Adam.
I know Tommy.
Yeah, he's my treasurer.
He was a public works director at one time.
That's right, he was. Yeah, he works for the Housing Authority now, and
he was going to fire me.
We've been good friends for many, many years. He's been a staunch supporter of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom's a good guy.
Yeah.
And we could go down the line. We have Councilman Halecky. Oh, what was this club that you're at? It's
that's the Catholic War Veterans in St. Joseph's Catholic.
Which is now gone, right?
Which is now gone, but it will be replaced with a new building.
Okay.
It was in the way of the construction of School 14. That's why they had to take it out. But.
And we have an ad from that initial Rutkowski slate in '86, and there's a lady that I don't know, Maureen Russell.
Maureen Russell
was on there, and in this scrapbook I looked, there was this headline that I thought, like, today it would be offensive. It says that a person throws her bonnet into the ring. Oh. And I just looked at it again today, and it was written by a woman, Mary Fitzgibbons or something like that,
right.
Whoever was a reporter at the time. I don't think, like, Bill O'Reilly would use a headline like that today.
No,
you know?
No.
But times change, right?
This is true.
John, can I ask your opinion?
Sure.
Have you ever had an association?
It's not a formal association. It's the Friends of John Halecky, and, you know, we put this together. I didn't want the regimen of having a monthly meeting. It becomes very difficult to find guest speakers and to make the meeting interesting all the time. Right, you know, so it wasn't something that I pursued.
Yeah, because there's pros and cons, and I know that some people
feel that way. As a matter of fact, you had one of the pictures there was of John Halecky.
Yes.
Yeah, well, when he was the councilman here in Bayonne, we had an organization called the Halecky Boosters, and I was actually president of the Halecky Boosters, and, you know, we did fundraisers for him, and then when he left office, then, you know, so...
well, this first victory, I guess it was from 1990, we have Mayor Rutkowski's father was there to share the moment.
Yes, he was an interesting individual.
I actually met him. He was a great guy.
Absolutely.
He told me, and you could elaborate on this, he actually told me he owned a cab company before Yellow and Whitey's, and it was on the corner opposite of Irwin's, which is now going out of business. And I thought he said it was called Blue Diamond or something cab company years ago. He was quite a fella, this guy.
Yeah, he was very interesting. I was at a dinner once that was honored Francis Fitzpatrick, and they served surf and turf, and the filet mignon. And I don't like my meat, you know, rare. So I just ate the lobster tail, and then they brought it back into the kitchen. He came running out. Who didn't eat their meat? And I says, I didn't. I just don't like. Well, why didn't you say that? We would have cooked it for you. He was so upset. I mean, he was a
he was a good guy.
He was a stickler for quality, you know. So.
Yeah. Well, and we have this next shot of your first swearing in. Although you're not in it.
Right.
Frank Guarini is in it.
That's right.
Who's right behind him, I don't know. But right behind that is Joe Doria, who was Assembly at that time.
That's right.
And not in local politics. And then you pointed out the guy sitting down there in the pale blue suit is a young Bob Menendez.
That's right.
Okay. And in the next shot, from a different angle, I see Dennis Collins and the first edition of Senator Lautenberg.
That's right.
You know.
That was his first time around.
Yeah. So, and then he came back after that. Now, this other one, I took a picture of this. It was just one of your speeches. You wrote this for something you were doing on Cablevision. And the thing that struck me about that, if you take a look at that, Chuck.
I have to put my glasses on.
Well, you don't really, because you don't have to read it.
I'm getting a little old.
What I noticed about it, anytime that I write something, I got to do it on a word processor because I'm always changing. I write a sentence, I read it back, I don't like it, I change it. Whatever you were thinking, you wrote it down in one shot from your head to the piece of paper and then read it from there.
That's right.
Okay, that's an amazing gift.
Well, thank you.
Do you know that I never do that?
Is that right?
No, I just come and just start talking.
Well,
Usually nonsense.
Well,
But
actually, I try to outline it now. You have to make outlines, so just so you lose your
Mike's
keep your train of
meticulous
thought.
like that. He's got his stuff scripted, not me.
Is that right?
Or else I run out of things to say.
You never
Yeah.
run out of things.
All right, but we're going to the next
You
group
got
of
some
pictures
more
here.
stuff
Oh,
here.
we got a few more. I love this picture of John Menendez and Januszewski.
John Menendez?
No, I'm sorry. What is his name?
You don't know?
I forgot.
Congressman Bob Menendez?
Bob Menendez.
I'm sorry.
Yes, and Januszewski, right.
And Januszewski, and when you first look at it, Chuck, it looks like they're shaking hands, but what they're really doing, they got their arms folded.
I'm not getting
Okay,
involved
but
in this, Mike. I'm not biting, man.
No, they don't want to touch each other. You could say, they're like keeping a distance there. I call this the
Well,
Rogues
he
Gallery.
knew
Had-
back then.
Also at your inauguration was Bob Torricelli.
Bob Torricelli, right.
Okay. A name, somebody gave you his business card, the mayor of Perth Amboy, Joseph Vaz.
He's going to get involved in the loop here. I've been reading some
He's
paperwork
involved in
about
something
him.
locally.
Yeah, Joseph,
The Voss guy's going to run,
yeah,
right?
he's going to run against Alvio Ciras
Right.
for
Yeah.
Congress, right.
Right, and it was all just happy days back then.
That's
Hi,
right.
how you doing and stuff, There's a lot of, there's probably people that are opponents now that were friends back then, but the reverse is also true,
I have a picture or a plaque that hangs in my office, and it was given to me by Steve Gallo, and it says, your friends aren't necessarily your friends, and your enemies aren't necessarily your enemies. And I think about it, but I really don't understand it half the time.
I think Joe Doria taught him that
Is
one.
that right? But, it's interesting, the political game.
Can you think of any friends you have now that started out as enemies?
Yes. I just won't mention them,
Okay.
but
Oh, yeah.
yes.
All right. Well, that is the way politics